We're going to talk a little bit about flooding and drainage here today, so we want to hear and get feedback from you and hear what you have to say, right? And nothing's off the table. We may not have an answer for all your questions today, and that's okay. But we're going to work real hard to make sure we get answers and provide solutions when we can get those in place, right? We had unprecedented rain events since September of this past year, all the way up into January of this year. But we had an emergency. We declared an emergency. The governor came down. The state declared an emergency for the September event. We had a number of roads that were impacted, a huge number of residents. The town opened up and took debris in for a certain amount of time that we allocated funds and went before the town council, got funding for debris removal that was at no cost to any of the residents. We asked for a federal declaration of an emergency. We asked FEMA to come down and all the parts of the federal government that could come in and help, everything from the SBA to folks looking at individual assistance. That is on the president's desk right now for a signature. He will be the approving authority of whether we get that federal disaster declaration or not. Well, I've reached out to both Plainville and the city of Attleboro to discuss how we address the 10 Mile River watershed. That's a part of our problem. It's not all of it, but it's a good majority of the issues that we're having. When I came on board in 2020, sat down with the town council, with Mark, and said, how do we address the 10 Mile River? It's not going away. And we began pursuing funding from the congressman. He gave us $1.5 million in earmarks to address some of the designing. Unfortunately, some of that money went directly to FEMA, and we had to work within the FEMA rules and regulations to make FEMA doesn't allow and doesn't support dredging. Mark came back to me and said, hey, all right, we got to do some dredging on the 10 Mile River. This is some of our solution. We also need the Commonwealth to help out here too. Good portion of the 10 Mile River is not owned by the town. We could fix the middle part of the river, but if we didn't do anything in Attleboro, they would potentially be adversely affected by what we were doing. And if Plainville didn't address anything, what happens upstream comes down to us. So I proposed and sent both to the town administrator of Plainville and the mayor of Attleboro a framework for all of us to work together to look at this as a regional problem. We're going to look at those and how the Corps of Engineers can come in and help us. But we're at the point now that we have to take town dollars and begin putting those into 10 Mile River and addressing some of these drainage issues.
Just due to the amount of flooding, your average roadway was constructed to take the 25-year storm. When you get 4 inches of water in 6 hours, that exceeds the 100-year storm for that interim period of time. We've gone out and looked at everyone who's called. We've had hundreds of calls since the September storm, December 18th, January 10th, and we log all those calls in. We follow up on them. We've been out to all the addresses that we've been. Some of them there was something clogged in the pipe, or School Street, the pipe actually pictures in the wrong direction. One, I recommend to everyone, when you do find a problem during a storm, large or small, to document it. If you can take a picture or a video and report it to us, so at least we can come and look at it. Sometimes the answer is going to be, it was just too much water, we couldn't take it. Sometimes it's a structural issue.
Look at 21 East Street, which has been severely impacted by the flooding. Is the developer of that complex offering to participate with the town on any resolution?
We've been applying pressure to 21 East to say, you must be in compliance with the agreement that you made with the town through the planning board to have, parking control, because this area has historically flooded and overbanked.
I own Home Greek Yogurt on 21 East Street in the bottom of the towers. So during these rainstorms, we have over a foot of water on East Street that comes in our front door.
You're unfortunately at a time right now where we're trying to do stuff in the 10 Mile River. We think that might be able to alleviate some of it, but I don't know if you get 11 inches of rain, if it's ever going to, prevent that from happening. If you need anything, if there's anything of concern, my office is open, right? Call us, drop by, sit down, right? Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's important to you. I'll tell you what we're doing on town. We'll have a conversation. That's what this is about. This whole thing is about giving another opportunity for the community.